to do what we call a comparison or a measuring stick. You know, we got something in common there. We both dominated Guerrero. I did drop him. You know, Danny didn't drop him, but Danny did win unanimously. You know, I commentated that fight. I had Danny winning the fight. Guerrero was competitive for a few rounds, but Danny stayed composed, and eventually he just started setting up traps and just started teeing off on Guerrero. Guerrero never made an adjustment, and it just throughout the round, it just became an easy fight for Danny Garcia. Excuse me, for Danny Garcia. And it is what it is, man. Manny Pacquiao beat fighters that Floyd Mayweather, you know, beat, and Manny Pacquiao stopped certain people. Floyd didn't. It didn't stop Floyd Mayweather from winning the fight. So at the end of the day, this is just going to be a competitive fight between Keith One-Time Thurman and Danny Swift Garcia, man. I mean, it's going to be a good fight. We're going to challenge each other, and one man is going to get the best of the other man. End of story.
Guys, thanks a lot. Good luck in the fight. Appreciate it.
Our last question is going to come from Dante Williams from Dante Boxing Nation. Please go ahead.
How you guys doing? Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman. I want to ask both of you guys the same question. Let's start with you, Keith Thurman. How would you compare Danny to everyone you faced before? Would you say well-rounded, like comparing them to Sean Porter and everyone else?
Well, I'd have to say that, you know, Danny is definitely probably the most accomplished fighter that I've faced. I've faced a lot of veterans, but you know, you're a veteran when you got some years under your belt. Danny is still in his prime. He's undefeated, and he's ready, and he wants to keep that ball rolling. You know, so I faced Sean. He was young, but he wasn't undefeated. And their fight styles are different. Danny's very composed. Like you said, they got a fight strategy. And they, for the most part, he does always find a way to win. And we're going to try to be a little bit more crafty and make it so that he can't solve this puzzle March 4th. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, this is just going to be a good fight, and I'm looking forward to the challenge. We've known each other for many years. We've never gotten to mix it up. The time is now. Everything's on the line. There's no better time than now. There's no better network than CBS. So I'm just looking forward to this, man. This is going to be a terrific fight.
The same question for you, Danny. Would you comparing him to everyone you've ever faced before? Would you say he's the most well-rounded on paper, Danny?
You know, I say every fighter has their own identity. You can never really compare fighters. All fighters are different. So I think, you know, when you prepare for a fight, you got to prepare to make adjustments and things of that nature. But, you know, he's a 147-pound world champion. I'm a 147-pound world champion. And it's a unification fight. And, you know, like they said, they say he's a naturally bigger guy than me. You know, we have to see that about that March 4th. The size difference in the ring. And, you know, I feel like I'm the bigger guy, even though I'm coming up from a smaller weight class. You know, I'm physically strong. I have punching power on both hands. And come March 4th, you know, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. And I'm ready for whatever comes to the table.
Okay, and is there any VADA or USADA testing in this fight, Danny or Keith?
Yeah, we're using anti-doping. I know I've been tested multiple times already. You know, we should have been tested too, but yeah,
we both have
doping. Yep.
There has been USADA testing of both athletes for this fight, and Danny, as the WBC champion, is enrolled in the clean boxing program of the WBC, so he's always subject to that testing.
Okay, Danny,
This one is anti-doping though. Huh?
What's that?
No, I said this was anti-doping. WBC didn't test for VADA this fight.
Okay, so you're saying it's VADA testing, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, no, there's no VADA testing. It's just anti-doping.
Okay.
Just wanted to make that clear.
USADA is testing testing both fighters for this particular fight. In order to be the WBC champion, as the WBC champion, Danny is enrolled in their year-round program. But the testing for this fight is USADA.
I'm glad you cleared that up, Lou. And just also, I want to ask, who are you guys sparring with to prepare for each other, Danny?
You know, I'm sparring with some great young undefeated prospects. You know, young fighters with, you know, a lot of speed, you know, a lot of athleticism, a lot of power. One kid from Jersey, his name is Junior Rodriguez, young explosive fighter. I believe he's going to be a world champion one day. You know, we just have a lot of great work, and we're ready.
Okay, and you keep learning?
For me, you know, I brought in one of Danny Garcia's past opponents and a veteran, Kendall Holt, and you know, just got some of that veteran work, some good work, somebody who once upon a time, coming up as a prospect, you know, I possibly could have faced. And then my local boy, St. Pete, Clarence Booth. I think he's going to be on the undercard fighting some up-and-coming Russian. And, you know, just a few different looks, man. And just what we've been using for camp, man. We feel good. You know, you never get to clone your opponent. You know, so you just got to pick some people that you believe is going to get you some good work and get you ready for the fight.
And this is my last question for both of you guys. Since I know you guys both want to unify the titles, we know that there's another unification bout, or not a unification bout, but another big welterweight championship bout, which is Kell Brook versus Errol Spence. Keith Thurman, starting with you, if I can get your prediction of how that fight plays out. And Danny after that.
Well, it's going to be a good fight. It's a great matchup. You know, Errol's been calling out everybody. He's been steamrolling all the veterans and all the other opponents they've been putting in the ring with him. I do believe that Kell Brook is definitely the biggest challenge to date for him. You know, when he fought the opponent that I faced, Bundu, before he got the knockdown and eventually the knockout upon Bundu, it was, for me, watching the fight, some of the most competitive rounds that Errol Spence has ever been through. I believe that Kell Brook is a better fighter than Bundu. And going overseas, he's going to have to make a statement. He's definitely going to have to win the fight hands down, preferably a knockdown, if not a stoppage. But I don't know if it's going to be as easy to break down Kell Brook
Yeah. At the end of the day, you know, my dad's from the inner city of Philadelphia, so he wasn't being racist. You know, people talk. I know it's not right, but people talk like that every day in the city of Philly or any inner city you come from. So he wasn't being racist. He was just talking like where he's from. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. But at the end of the day, you know, it is what it is. I didn't take it in no way because I know he didn't mean it in that way. So it is what it is.
Okay, so I understand your point of view that because of your father's background that perhaps he's not a racist. That's fine. He also had some comments though where he basically threatened to physically assault a female publicist, Kelly Swanson. That is not a comment.
No, I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, let's say. Okay, but you don't want to say that. I think he answered the question. Danny.
What was the question?
I just want to know, are you willing to say that your father maybe should not have said what he said?
Said to who?
To the whole thoughts that he laid out, whether it was invoking anti-gay language, anti-racist language, threatening a woman with physical violence, all those things taken into account.
He never threatened a woman. He never said nothing about gay. He never said nothing about women or gay. So I don't know where you guys are getting that from.
Yeah, let's just end it here. Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you.
And that was the last question.
Okay, Lou, can you wrap it up, please? Okay, I think that's going to be it, everybody. Thank you so much, and we'll see everybody March 4th.
I'd like to say thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining. You may all disconnect and have a great day.
Thank you.